Hey everyone, it is another awesome episode of Poetry Worldwide. Guys, we are really enjoying the atmosphere, the energy that you guys are bringing to our Poetry Worldwide Facebook page. We had a little makeover, so why be good when you can be great, is the saying here. We actually got a logo change, so we appreciate the feedback that you guys are giving us through the logo. We want to just take a little bit of time out and thank Treasured Memories Graphics for hooking us up with that. So if you need any logo, branding, any marketing, please go to treasuredmemoriesgraphics.com. Talk to Leslie Thompson, and she will definitely hook you up with a new style. But again, we do want to thank WYTV7, Christian Broadcasters Network, for believing in the goal and in the dream that poets deserve and need to be heard. So we always want to take a time out and thank them. But you guys, we have a really, really special treat for you today. One of the biggest cities in the poetry movement is Dallas, Texas. So they do it big in Dallas. They believe in it. And we got a special guest to take some time out and come and interview with us. So you guys, if you are in Dallas, please check them out. And this brother here is going to give you more information on how to become a part of the movement. So without any further ado, please introducing the Javon Rustin. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, everything is all right. Just once again, thank you so much for taking the time out to just, we know you got a schedule, it's slam season. So just thank you so much for taking the time out and making us a part of your day today. So we're just going to start off with a few questions. We want people to get to know you, get to know about the scene and the man behind the microphone. So we're just going to flow today. So I always like to ask poets, how did you start writing? So what was your start there?
I was actually forced to write. Like my first poem, I was forced to write. It was in church. I didn't want to do it. Like this isn't for me. I want to write poetry. But I was writing like songs and with my cousins and stuff just for fun. When we were younger, we would write books. I couldn't draw. My cousin would draw like illustrations for these little child books that we would write. But I didn't think anything of it ever. It was just something I did for fun. And then they forced me to do it in church, and the people liked it. And I was like, oh, snap, people like my stuff. So I kept doing it.
I could just hear that, just being held at verbal gunpoint, be like, look, we want you to write this Easter speech. We need you to do it now. And then all of a sudden it just blooms into this beautiful thing. So we get a lot of writers on the show that either said they had to learn Shakespeare or their mama wanted them to write as like a punishment or something like that. So you're right in line with what we typically see.
And it turns into something. Yeah, it works out.
Definitely.
I guess that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing behind poetry. It can be a calling that you get into. I call it accidentally on purpose. So that's definitely a beautiful story there. So when you write, where do you draw your inspiration from?
Usually my family, or stuff that I've been through, or stuff that they've been through. I had a pretty good childhood because of them, but they had to go through like a lot to give me a good childhood. So I write stories for them. Also, anybody else that may be going through a lot, whatever a lot may be. I try to write inspiration, like. Because I know everybody goes through stuff, but sometimes you don't really feel like you're going through it with somebody else. So I try to write like inspirations, so they can understand that everybody kind of goes through this, and life isn't easy. I feel like it's all about finding like a balance. So I never write like, oh my gosh, you're gonna make it out of this situation. Everything's gonna be magical at the end. I don't. Even though it may be, I write things like, hey, if you're going through this, try to find some balance on the other side, because I feel like that's more what life is about, finding the balance. And that's what I try to do in my writing. And I try to make it entertaining, honestly. I'm a little bit of a goofball, so I like to be funny.
All right. Well, yeah, I've actually heard some of his poetry, and he's telling the straight up truth on that. So life really is about the balance, and as artists, we are I would almost say, called to tell the truth. And sometimes it may take you a little bit to get out of that situation on the other side. But if you can find that it within the storm, then hopefully you can come out on the other side of that. So, you got all this stuff going career-wise going on, and we'll definitely get into that. But really, take away all of the scene and everything. What would you say your overall goal is with your poetry?
Outside the scene, I really want to help people enjoy their life. Um, as far as making a better life, I feel like that's like a personal responsibility, or even something that may not even be in our control at sometimes. But as far as being happy and at peace and actually harmonizing with whatever situation you may be in, I feel like that's an ultimate goal. When I say that, I feel like I'm really speaking to like younger generations, and I'll speak to adults all day long. But I feel like it's the children who have less control over some of their circumstances. So I'm like, and I have two little brothers, so I speak to them as well. Usually when I write, I find myself speaking to somebody. Like there's somebody in my mind, whether it's a student, a little brother, a family member, and I'm always trying to get them to find that balance. I'm going back to that balance again, but that would be the overall goal, to get them to enjoy their life. I may not be able to change their circumstances, but I think I can change their outlook on their circumstances,
Mhm.
and that's a big goal.
So that's awesome. Definitely, as especially with social media, you got the youth. It's almost like we have to kind of take care of them a little bit more and pull them in a little bit closer. So, I mean, really, when you write, uh, who are you hoping to touch and inspire? Is it more of like a youth, or is it just anybody that may be under the sound of your voice?
I want it to be everybody under the sound of my voice. Although when I write, that specific poem may speak to a certain group that I have in mind. And it just depends. Like if I'm starting a poem, I usually just write for myself. By the time I finish a poem, I have somebody in mind that I'm talking to.
Mhm.
So yeah, it depends on the poem. Honestly, sometimes I'm talking to myself, uh, but I want everybody to get something from it, you know. So I would say everybody under the sound of my voice.
Definitely. And I was always curious about this. What do you find yourself writing about the most? Because you got some poets, erotica is their thing or politics is their thing. What do you kind of find yourself gravitate towards?
The most, it depends on where I'm at in life. I have no idea. I was working at a job where I was like one of two black people, right, in the entire company. And during that time period, I wrote a lot of black poems because I would read the news and come in and feel like I couldn't speak to people about it as openly as I could
Mm.
outside of work. So I would write about it because, I would write things that I couldn't say. After leaving that job, I'm a full-time poet now and web designer, if anybody needs a website. But after leaving that job, now that I can pretty much talk openly about it, I find myself writing about other things that I feel like I might not be able to talk openly about or are harder to articulate. That's really where I feel like the writing comes from. Things that I either wanted to say, haven't said, or can't say. I'll put it in a poem, um, or have trouble just explaining outside of the regular conversation. I'll put it in a poem. So, what do I write about most? I write about everything. I have erotic poetry. I have political poems. I have uh, mental health poems. I feel like I lean towards mental health a lot, though. I feel like in every aspect, mental health is the main thing. There might be a line about mental health in every poem, no matter what it is.
Okay.
That would be my answer. Mental
All
health.
right. I got I got you. Definitely. Well, I mean, so we'll just say it's a master's in everything with a specialization in mental health. So we'll just to kind
Yes.
of wrap it all up. So yeah, I mean, but definitely, guys, if you're kind of new into poetry, that would seem to be, I would say, most poets' answers, because we're drawn from everything, just like a sponge. If we see something in the news, we're going to write about it, or if we are experiencing something, then we're going to talk about it. So that's just really something in the poet's life, and that's something that we can draw from. But we've talked about your writing. Do you have any poems that you'd like to perform today?
Yeah, I could do a short poem. That's fine. Yeah, I can.
All right.
Now,
Yeah, go right ahead.
my father never climbed the fence to catch me. Was never home for me to run to. He had a mound of children hoping he would take a swing at fatherhood, a babe for every season, but was too ruthless to be legend in our lives. So when it came to keeping company, he always went on strike, even when I was a short stop away. Literally, 5 minutes down the street, this major league player, more masked up umpire, face protected from clear sight, would still deem me too foul to touch base. But I saw my pop fly into everyone's free time except mine. He ran around my heart. I never got him out. So I dug out my tears while he was busy being a diamond, some girl's best friend, bright enough to blind them from the dirt-filled lies he kicked up. Thank God my stepdad stepped to the parenting plate. Thank God he took me to my first baseball game. Thank God he stuck around for every inning.
Man, I love it. Wow. Okay. Um, wow. I'm gonna have to take a minute on that. I really felt that one. I love baseball, so that's the first thing. And then number two, I can identify with that myself. I also had a dad that stepped in and took up that role. So I'm definitely feeling that. Guys, if you are just now tuning in, I'm gonna need you to hit the back button. We're talking here with the Javon Rustin. He just gave us a great poem, great theme, great theme. Wow. So we understand that you're a poet. You definitely displayed it right here. What things are you doing outside of writing and performing?
Outside of writing and performing, I teach poetry. Well, I teach social and emotional learning through poetry. So I work with Dallas Poetry Slam, and we partner with literary organizations to do just that, teach poetry. We work with Big Thought, Writers Garrett, some other places throughout the city. And we give workshops, some adult workshops. I work mainly with middle school kids, some high school or younger. um, so that's what we do. We teach poetry all throughout the year. Look for workshops. I also make websites. If I'm not working on workshops at all, I make websites. Shameless plug.
All right. Well, hey, guys, he is in to everything. So if you are in the Dallas, Texas area, or if you want to reach out to him just to kind of get some information on how to start up something like that in your community, or and if you need a website to bring your vision together, he is the guy to call. I got you, man. I got you.
Yes.
I promise. But that's beautiful. I mean, it's like you are creative on just every level, and we definitely appreciate that. Definitely. So we have this section of the show called the soul section,
Okay.
where we just want you to speak directly to the audience. So this is going to be broadcast around the world at any time of day. So I wanted to ask, what motivational words do you have for our listeners today? Like if they're going through an issue, is there anything that maybe you can draw from your life that could give them some motivation to move forward?
Yeah. I always want to pick like the most important thing, but I don't know what the most important thing is. So I'm gonna pick the thing that came to my mind first. A lot of times when we're going through life, we see life as it is right now. We come home, we think about life as it is right now. How can I get out of this situation? How can I get out of this situation? Right? Which is fine, that's normal, that's life. But I feel like it gets so heavy to just picture that, and we don't really go anywhere because that's all we're imagining. We have so much power of the mind. Now, I graduated a degree in computer science. I love science, right? Everything I write, I research. So when I tell people to meditate, What I'm really meaning is focus on the you, like literally picture it, like feel the you want to be in the future, right? Whatever you think the other side of that situation may be, right? Because maybe that situation is worth it. Maybe on the other side there is something. Maybe there isn't. Maybe that means you need to stop that situation. But I think the goal every morning would be just to take a couple of minutes to picture where you want to be. If you want to be on the stage, feel the stage, see the audience, close your eyes, feel the microphone in your hands. If you want to be in a business meeting, close your eyes and picture whatever it is you're saying, what you're wearing, picture it. My pastor even used to tell me, like, and I'm gonna get back to the science, but my pastor even used to tell me, if you have something you want, you need to write that down in detail. And that's a form of meditation when you're writing down in detail. Even when I was studying for a test, they told me to make a cheat sheet. The cheat sheet did not help at all. It was writing down the information in detail. So when I say meditate and focus on what you want in detail, and just because I'm not saying if you focus on the card, first off, the card isn't a goal. When I say a goal, I mean like something that you want to do in life, not material things. A position that you want to be in. Focus on that. And so that when you see an opportunity that leads to there, it doesn't pass you by because you've been focusing on that. You know, and there are tons of opportunities that we may or may not miss throughout the day. And I think if we have an image of where we want to be, then that step will be like, oh, this fits, you know, this is what I've imagined. And we just get one step closer to that. Even if we don't hit that mark, we got closer. And I think that'll also give peace of mind when you're going throughout the day. If you see something on the other side of a struggle, and this is all about balance. You know, I don't have like hero answers for getting over things, but I'm definitely an advocate for balance. And I think whatever situation we may be going through, we should be able to find joy in it. And I think that's one way to do so.
Definitely. That's a great answer. A great, truthful answer, and I believe a lot of people are going to find a lot of nuggets, a lot of take-home things that they can do. And you know, just sticking on the point of motivation, you know, since you are teaching writers, you're helping to bring a new generation of writers into the forefront. What words of encouragement would you say to a struggling writer or to a struggling poet? You know, they may be close to giving up, or just they feel like people are just not hearing them. So what motivational words would you have for that
writer? Research your craft. Research your craft from beginning to end and practice. Read everybody. Study the people that you want to be like. And don't mimic them, just study them, you know. And find what path works best. You know, I feel like a lot of people want to take the performance route, which is cool, but you might be more of a writer. I don't know, but I feel like if you practice, plus don't try to be like, not it can't everybody be a star, you know. I'm not a star. I'm not. So I think that's really important especially when you get into the competition aspect. Like I would do slam regardless because it's fun. I like to be around the people that bring that energy to the stage, you know. So if you have fun with that, then do that. But as far as getting better, I would just say research your craft. Know poetry, the ins and outs, like the literary devices, how to use them, where to use them, how to break the rules, and read poems. Like I don't believe anybody that's like a poet and doesn't have a contemporary poet that they like. Edgar Allan Poe is dope, but there is a poem in 2018 that is also dope. And if you like poetry, I would bank on you knowing a poem from at least to 2000s. You know, you research your craft.
Definitely. Well, that is some very, very sound advice. I would also suggest the same. Definitely choose your path, be righteous in that path, and know what fits for you. I started out in slam. I liked it. You know, I did a couple of years in it, and then I moved on to something else. This is a new path for me. I always tell people I'm retired. I've been doing this for a while, and it's kind of like football. You know, what the greats should do is after they play, they should start coaching. So to me, this
Yeah,
is my coaching, putting
I
people on,
agree.
and I'm passionate about it. I'll write every now and then, but actually getting up on the stage, I've done it. You know, I'd rather put other people out there. So definitely some good advice. So Javon, so we went through. We had a really great interview. We're just trying to wrap up the show. I do want
Mhm.
you to tell people about any upcoming projects that you have and how people can reach out to you.
So I'm coming out with my third chapbook at the end of August. Um, Unfortunately, I only make like 50 to 100 copies, so when they're gone, they're gone. But my Instagram and all my social media is at Javon Rustin, all one word. So I will definitely be announcing it there if anybody wants to order anything. It's JavonRustin.com. I am open for features, motivational speeches, and stuff like that. I love to speak to people. Um, as far as upcoming projects, like I said, Dallas Slam, it is slam season, so Dallas Slam is going to Chicago to compete in nationals. I'm trying to go to San Diego to compete in IWIPs. And after those competitions, I will get back to regular life. But I'm trying to knock off those competitions right now.
Well, that's
That's
good.
really the goal. And keep teaching.
Definitely. Hmm. Well, definitely. Well, guys, if you are in those areas, definitely, you know, make sure you become a judge. Give them a 10. 10 is the highest you can get. 10 is what we need, is what we live for. And definitely get on those social media sites and just connect with him. You already see he's a good guy. He's got a lot of knowledge that he wants to share. So at the end of the show, since we are a Christian network, I would just like to lead anyone that does not have a relationship with Christ. You would just say a simple prayer, and you can repeat after me. Uh, just say, Lord Jesus, I repent of my sins. Come into my life. I make you my Lord and Savior. And here at WYTV7, we believe if you say that prayer, you've been born again. Please get in a Bible-based church. Keep God first in everything you do, and I promise you, he will take you to places you have never dreamed of. So I am Jessica Crenshaw. That is the Javon Rustin, and we are here on WYTV7. So thank you so much once again, WYTV7, for giving poets like us a voice. So once again, this is Poetry Worldwide, where we are giving poets a voice. Are you ready to be heard? Have a good one.
Bye.